Hello there, channel members, friends, and followers from around the world. This is Q8 Pilot, your host for tonight's show. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be conducting a full review of X-Plane 12. X-Plane 12 Early Access is about to end, and we've had 8 updates up to update number 8, so beta 8, and then we've had 3 release candidate updates to the sim. We are at release candidate 3, and I believe that X-Plane now is in a pretty good shape for me to conduct a review. I've held back on doing this for a very long time. It's been I think September when I did the very first look at X-Plane 12. I have gone through all the default aircraft in X-Plane. We are going to be taking a look at all of them today. I'm going to show you what has changed in this version of X-Plane, and I'm going to give you also my thoughts along the way, as well as a few tips and tricks that probably can help you. I hope it does help you throughout your X-Plane 12 experience. I want to welcome all of you guys to the stream today. And I want to begin by thanking my very good friend and longtime supporter of the channel, Rand Cooley. Rand, thank you very much for everything you do for the channel. I appreciate it, my friend. Alan, welcome aboard. Luke Lucas, welcome, my friend. Glad to have you here. Distortion, welcome aboard. Ryan, hello, Ryan. Welcome aboard. Thanks for being here and for your membership of the channel. I appreciate it. MC Crewfish, hello, my friend. Welcome. And we have also with us today Dwart, welcome aboard, my friend, and good luck to you. Mika, hello, my friend, welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Good day to you. Chicago Skyhawk, Boeing Corp, thanks very much for being here and for your membership here at the channel. Carl, welcome aboard. Rotor, thank you very much, guys, for your subscription. Hello to you from wherever you are in the world. Welcome everyone, and here is X-Plane 12. What we're going to be doing today, I am not using any add-on scenery. I'm not using any enhancements. The only thing I am using is XP Realistic, which is going to give us the camera shake inside the cockpit. But first, let's head over to the cockpit, and this is one of the first default aircraft for X-Plane 12 that we're going to be taking a look at. We are currently situated at LaGuardia International Airport in the United States, and we are not going to start all the aircraft from their cold and dark state in the interest of time, because this is probably going to be a long stream, and I want to show you as much as possible. And hopefully by the end of the stream, I will let you know exactly what I think and what are my recommendations as X-Plane 12 exits early access and heads over to official release. This is the SR22, the Cirrus SR22, and as you can see, if you've seen my review stream a few days ago of the Flight FX, this actually looks very, very good in terms of the texturing. As you can see here on the overhead, the oxygen masks, the texturing is superb with almost all the default aircraft. Yeah, not exactly high fidelity in some areas, but overall, I think they look fantastic in terms of the texturing and the 3D modeling. The sounds as well, by the way, are exceptional in all the aircraft, and all the aircraft have unique engine sounds, and we're going to actually witness this, so let's not talk too much. Let's actually get to it, and we're going to come here and turn on battery 1, battery 2, gens 1 and 2, and we can come down here. You can hear, again, very nice sounds, the caution sounds. And this is what you'd hear in the Cirrus. So again, some really good...
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
This is the self-test now taking place.
Fire.
All right. And we can also turn on the avionics. Self-test is taking place. Perfect.
System test pass.
All right. Perfect. Now, all we need to do here is come over here and select the run, and that will basically turn on the fuel pump, and we're just going to say start the engine. And now, as you can see, the engines are starting. This is not the S22, beg your pardon, this is the SF50. Listen to the engine sounds as the engines start. Very, very immersive sounds. All right, back in the cockpit, we're going to turn on our strobe lights and landing lights, nav lights. Master oxygen and fresh air are turned on. Probe heat is turned on. We can cancel the caution light here, and we are ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is I actually want to show you the scenery in X-Plane 12. And I know when I did the first look, I was at Innsbruck. And one of the comments came and said, well, yeah, Q8 went to one of the showcased airports to kind of lure us into showing us, good graphics. Actually, I will let you guys select the airports that we're going to be conducting our tests at. But this one is to showcase what has changed, really. The graphic assets in X-Plane 12 have considerably improved in X-Plane 12. Any airport that you go to, you will see that the airport layout matches that of the real-world airport. Not the buildings, but the actual layout, and the buildings are actually pretty good. This is LaGuardia, and you can see all the taxi textures. Beg your pardon, the runway textures, the apron, all the signage at the airport is done very, very well. And let's go ahead and release the parking brake, and let's go ahead and take off. Listen to the beautiful sounds of the engine. And of course, we have XP Realistic there giving us the nice shake. Love it. Just look at how smooth it is. Very, very smooth. And it's kind of going all over the place here. Looks like it's a windy day. All right, we're going to rotate it about maybe 80, 90 knots. All right, let's go here. Right, rotate. And positive rate. Gears going up. Definitely strong winds. And let's do a flyby. Oh, yeah. Those sounds are absolutely gorgeous. And we're going to head over there to New York City.
Landing gear.
Yeah, it's going to complain about the landing gear for sure. And here, let's pick up some altitude. And we just look out the window. Let me just go forward a bit. There we go. There we go. Look at that scene. And I tell you guys, it's actually not bad at all. All right. We're going to ease off there on the throttle a little bit. We're at about 1,000 feet. All right, let me switch to the outside view here. And check this out. I mean, it is not Microsoft Flight Simulator, without a doubt. But guys, I mean, in all honesty, this is not bad. This is not bad at all by Laminar. It is very plausible, very believable, and it definitely does create for that experience. And this pretty much looks like New York. I mean, it is not accurate. It is not 100%, but it is very representative of what you'd find as you fly to New York. We're going to make a turn here, go down the river, the Hudson River, and we're going to go all the way to the Statue of Liberty, and then we're going to make a turn and maybe land back at JFK. Look at how smooth the sim is, and check out the vegetation. So the 3D vegetation is really something that brings out the sim. It looks very good. It's again, I am not comparing this to MSFS by any means. The scenery in MSFS is second to none, but this is actually not bad at all. It actually looks pretty good. The textures are pretty sharp, and the overall experience is very smooth. So here we're going to just take a look here from the cockpit. Just look at that, the beautiful haze and the fog here during dusk. You can see it's a very, very nice scene. There we go. And we're going to just ease off a little bit here on the throttle. And we're going to hand fly the aircraft, and we're going to be hand flying all the aircraft today. We're not going to be using any autopilot. But what we're going to end up doing today, folks, is we are going to test one of the, I would say, ugly things about X-Plane, which is ATC. Now, throughout the updates, through some update, through the Beta 8, I have seen a lot of fixes to the ATC. And today we're going to be doing a short flight. Perhaps we'll do it from maybe John Wayne to Los Angeles. Short hop, not a very long flight, but should be sufficient to really test how good the ATC is. And that's one of the things that's been always one of the ugly parts of X-Plane 12. And today we're going to take a look and see how well it fares up after all these updates. Right, here's again a look at the outside. I'm going to change the time just a little bit so you guys can see different times of the day. And here we go. Just look at that. Again, very beautiful colors of the sky and the city of New York right there. I mean, this looks absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, look at that. Look at the city here with the buildings. Again, representative of what you'd see. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the Statue of Liberty right there. We're going to fly past the statue, and then we're going to head over to the right and find an airport to land the aircraft. Just look at this. Look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. Major improvement in the graphics department in this version of X-Plane. Really very good. And here's the Statue of Liberty, as you can see. Definitely, Mika, yeah. A major improvement since the first beta, and I think those were my exact comments to a lot of the doubtful simmers out there. That guys, just give it some time and wait. Just look here as we turn the aircraft. Just look at how beautiful this looks. Very believable, very plausible. Speaking of plausible world, in X-Plane 12, plausible world. This is very plausible, I would say, and it does look very good. Let's do a quick flyby.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Yeah, this looks very good indeed.
Landing gear.
All right, let's give it some
Landing gear.
speed here. All right. Perfect. Again, we're going to make a turn here so you guys can, again, see the buildings and see the vegetation. I mean, okay, it's not ortho photos. It's probably, those buildings are probably not existent in real world or not exactly where they should be, but it creates for an enjoyable experience, and that's with the flight model of X-Plane. This creates for a very immersive experience flying the sim, and that's what we're after. We're after a very realistic experience, and I think this really does change things quite a bit for X-Plane 12, and I think it again underscores the skill of the flight engineers that are working on laminar research, working on the sim. I think this is really cool. I do like what I'm seeing here. I'm going to switch to the outside view. And what do you guys think? Look at that. This looks sensational. Really nice. And you can see the cars, and we can see all the buildings. And we're going to take a closer look at that with our next flight. So if you guys can suggest where you want me to go next, and I'll show you different things, of course, in every place we go to. I think we have a runway ahead of us here, so we're gonna go ahead and land there. So I'm gonna go ahead and ease off on the throttle, and we're gonna bring the aircraft. I believe that's JFK. I'm not sure if that's JFK or that's LaGuardia, to be very honest with you. But maybe we can bring up the map here, and ooh, that's a very cluttered map right there. That is John F. Kennedy indeed. All right. All right, let's go ahead and ease off on the throttle here as we come into land. And we're going to go ahead and lower the landing gear.
Altitude.
All right, first degree flaps. Let's trim the aircraft. So this is the first flight in our review video, and this is mainly to take a look at the graphics and see how things have changed in terms of the graphics, the vegetation. Things definitely look a lot better since the beta update. Since all the beta updates. So after release Candidate 3, things are looking very, very nice indeed in the sim. Right, flaps are full, and we are lined up with the runway here. Definitely some strong wind here, and this is something I really like in X-Plane, is the wind factor does really feel a lot more realistic than any other sim that I've tried. It really does feel very nice. Again, you can see the water bodies, 3D water in this version. We're going to take a look at that in just a minute here after we land. Start reducing our speed to about 90 knots. We are looking good. And this is John F. Kennedy. Now, again, it is not exactly like JFK that you'd see in real life, but again, it's very plausible. By the way, the layout is exactly the same, and you'll see a few things that are probably reminiscent of JFK, but again, very, very plausible and very well done by Laminar. And all the airports have excellent, excellent graphic assets, really, by default. So even if I actually bought very few airports for X-Plane 12 thus far. All right, here we go, and there we go. All right, bit of a floater there, but there we go. All right, and welcome to JFK, and here's the very first review of the graphic assets in X-Plane 12, as well as the SF-50 Vision Jet G2. Again, very nice aircraft. As you can see, the texturing is done very well. And now we are going to head over to some other area that you guys choose. So let me just... All right. So we're going to just hit the brakes here, and let me set the parking brake. All right. So what I'm going to do for the next flight is we are going to start with the engines running so that we save some time. But before we do so, I want to show you guys the night lighting. Now there is still a problem with the night lighting. When it's not completely dark like that, then you won't see the lights. But just look at the lights here, again at just in close proximity to John F. Kennedy. And I want you to take a note of the details on the street lights, on the cars. Again, here, as you can see, the backlight and the front lights, the headlights, everything is just the night lighting. Generally speaking, as you can see how the urban lighting is done very well. You can see the actual lights inside the buildings, which is something that we have not seen in the previous version of X-Plane without modifications. So in the previous version of X-Plane, we had to get things like X-Vision in order to get the buildings to actually light up during nighttime. And this is now, ladies and gentlemen, and here is the 3D water. Look at that. I mean, isn't that beautiful? By the way, we're going to take a look when we look at the weather system. I'm going to show you how the waves are actually simulated. The weather system is a very, very powerful weather system in X-Plane 12. So here are a few things that we see, and we'll save the rest for the next test. So if you guys have a specific place you want me to go to, otherwise I'd like to go to Oceano County, unless you have ready with me here. If you have an airport that you'd like me to go to, when are the winners going to be announced? The winners will be announced at the end of the stream. If you have the iCUE code for the airport, would be easier for me. So just give me the iCUE code and then we'll go. Yeah, the moon probably needs a little more work. And but you can see that in this version of X-Plane, one of the things that has changed is the fact that you can see the stars, where this was not possible in the previous version of X-Plane. So now you can also see the stars during nighttime. I mean, I don't like those star lights, by the way. This is very indigenous to X-Plane. You always see the lights like that. But overall, the night lighting has been improved. Now, there is a small issue in this, still early access. So let me just show you this very quickly. Now, when we are at, when we go to this time of the day, the lights don't look very good. You can see here the runway lights, they're kind of dimmed. And they only start getting bright when, it's completely dark, as you can see here. So that's one of the things that you need to, and I think Laminar is aware of this, and they will, look at that. I mean, look at this scene right here. And of course, the 3D vegetation. Again, something very nice. And by the way, guys, speaking of details, I want you to pay attention to, let's see here if I can catch it. All right, let's see here. Let me go. Oh, come on. All right, here we go. All right, so if we... come on. All right, let me switch to C, and that way I can go to wherever I want. All right, so that's where I want to go. And what I want to show you is the traffic light. Actually, you see the light here? So if you pay attention, the light actually changes colors. Here, let me just go to this side. It's easier. All right, here we go. So you can see the light is actually red, and they actually change. So it actually changes to green, yellow, and all of that good stuff. Very, very nice. You can see that one is green. So the traffic light in X-Plane actually works. And that was very surprising to see that. And here's a look again at New York City. Very, very nice indeed. Look at that, guys. Just really very nice. All right, let's see. EGIC. All right, let's go to EGIC. All right, so the next one, we are going to first... so this is the Cirrus Vision SF50. We're going to use the Cirrus SR22. So I'm going to say start a new flight. Let's go and start the new flight. And can you... Yes, absolutely, Distortion. We can change the season without a doubt. And we will take a look at that without a doubt. Let me start here. All right, let's remove that. All right, okay. So we are going to go EGIC. So let me change that. Location, we're going to come here and we're going to say start with the engines running. And we're going to go to customize EGIC. We're going to take a look, by the way, at this also. EGIC, there's no airport as such. LC EGIC is not there. All right, so I'm going to go for the next one, LCIK. All right, LCIK. That's also, is that it? Yeah, that's it. All right, so we're going to just put it on the runway 08. And we're going to say start flight. Perfect. We are actually flying in real weather. So I'll show you guys the settings in just a minute. Once we load up at the next airport. All right, so we are at the next airport. We should have the engines running. Let's see here. All right, well, that's okay. We can start the engines. All right, so let's first take a look at the outside. And let's take a look at this beautiful aircraft. Again, look at the reflection. Again, one of the things that changed in X-Plane 12 is the lighting system has been completely revamped to create this very realistic look in terms of the reflections, the shadows, and everything. It really looks fantastic in this version of X-Plane in terms of the lighting. Here is the airport. And what I'd like to kind of direct your attention to before we actually fly the aircraft is look at the trees. Now you can see that the trees are without leaves, and the reason being the season. I have changed the date to December, which is today's date, December 9th. But let me go ahead and change the date to August, and let's see what happens. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to say customize. So this is December 9th. I'm going to change the date to August 9th, and we're going to say apply changes. Done and apply. All right, so once you do this, X-Plane is going to know the condition of the trees, and look at that. Look at how this has now completely changed the scene to, we see all the trees are now green, the leaves are full, and it looks vibrant. And this is what it looks like in August. And that's because seasons have now been implemented in this version of X-Plane. Carl Childers, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard, and thank you very much for being here and for your continued support. I really appreciate it, Carl. Thank you very much for being here. Hope they fixed the Nuke Sun before the official release. It's way too big, especially during, the sun is big. So now you can see that the season changes everything from the vegetation to the color of the textures. Everything actually does change with when you change the season. So I'll leave it now here, and we'll take a look at this the season in another test. But let's go ahead and take a look here at the SIRS-22, the SR-22. All right, here we go. We have a good start. And let's take a look here at our lights, strobe lights, lamp lights, landing lights, pitot, all turned on. And I want you to also take notice of the sounds before we release the brakes. Very different sounds, if you recall, from the previous aircraft. So let's go ahead and release the parking brake, and let's go. Give it full power. Almost full right rudder here to get the aircraft on the center line. Very lovely runway textures there. And we're going to rotate at about 80 knots. There we go, rotate. And we are airborne, and here's a flyby. Now those sounds are phenomenal. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know Daniela. Daniela is a very talented individual that develops sounds, F-mode sounds. She's been working with Laminar lately. She's originally I came to know of her work through Arabesque, and then obviously now she's working also for Laminar, developing all the F-mode sounds for the sim. Look at this again as we make the turn here with those beautiful trees all the way far in the distance. Everything looks pretty good. It doesn't really bother me. Just imagine, this is, by the way, everything is default X-Plane. I am not using any add-ons, any enhancement, anything like that. This is absolutely default, and it actually looks pretty good. I mean, yeah, a few things are off, But overall, an overall experience, if I'm to evaluate the overall experience, I think is pretty good. All right, so that's one of the things. We've taken a look at a few things. We've taken a look at the seasons, and another thing that I want to take a look at is the weather. But in order to do that, we need to go to a place where there's a lot of clouds. And again, here's a look at the outside. All right, so our next test, let's see if Innsbruck is cloudy. There are scattered clouds. Maybe that's sufficient. All right, now from the SR22, we're going to go to the Beach Baron 58, and we're going to start at the runway. Runway 08 is fine. No, I actually want runway 26. I'm not going to worry about the weather too much today. Or flying from the right runway. I just want to show you different things, and I think it's very important that we Yes, Carl, I completely agree with you. We had to be patient, and I just am really, I've done a full flight in X-Plane 12 after release candidate 3, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was just really a lot of fun. All right, so that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a little bit of rain, and because I wanted to show you a few things. All right, let's see here. All right, so now we are in the Beach Baron, and one of the things you'll notice, the rain effect here on the window. So that's one of the new things that came to X-Plane 12. And they are, by the way, using the same librain library that we were accustomed to in X-Plane 11. They just actually now integrated this into the sim. We are now, we have the parking brake set, so I'm going to give it some power here. And if I give it power, you can see there is a slight change in the raindrops. Probably not. It will probably start changing once we, well, maybe there is a little bit, but we should see something else on the sides. Let's take a look here. Nothing changes on the sides. Nothing changes on this side. I've seen it change in some of the aircraft. Maybe it's not implemented for the Beach Baron. But before we do anything, let me again show you this aircraft from the outside. Just look at that, guys. Look at the beautiful texturing of this default Baron 58 for X-Plane 12. It looks sensational, really. Again, it looks very nice in terms of the vegetation. We can see a train there going. All the elements, by the way, all the navigational elements and the airport assets. If you look here at the lights, the runway lights, and the signage, everything really looks very good. We can see some puddles now forming on the runway. I think they kind of fixed this.
Tower, November 683 Golf Yankee. Request IFR clearance to Bolzano.
Looks like there's an aircraft requesting departure. Let me go here really quick to the menu. There's one AI aircraft, the Piper PA Super Cup by Laminar. So let's remove it for now so that it doesn't bother us during... All right. So now if we can see, one of the other things that has changed in X-Plane 12 is surface refraction. And you can see now the runway, there is some water forming on the runway. Now, I know that this has gone through a lot of criticism for many, calling it the puddle simulator and what have you. But actually, this is something that does happen in real life. It doesn't happen at this extent. Again, I love the contour, the runway contours there. And you can see this is, again, one of the new things, the surface refraction. So now the aircraft, when you actually can see, again, the wetness here. So, again, to make it a lot more believable. And actually, if you scroll, let's see if I can show you this effect here. Maybe not here, maybe somewhere else we can see it. Yeah, I don't think the raindrops are severe, so we are actually... I think you can see it here. You can see the raindrops. think you can see it here. Yeah, I can see it. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but you can actually see the raindrops on the ground, which is again a brand new feature in X-Plane 12. If we go to the outside, and if we release the parking brake slightly and start moving the aircraft, now we should get some effect when we go over a wet runway, which I don't see now. I can almost... Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe if we change the weather. All right, so one thing I want to show you before we depart and take a look at this aircraft is the weather system. So if we go to the weather system and we're going to say customize, now look at this. In the previous version of X-Plane or X-Plane 11, we had, I think, 7 layers max of weather. This is no longer the case, and in X-Plane 12, the weather system has been revamped to simulate real weather, real-time weather, and real injection of meteorological data inside the sim at any given altitude, anywhere in the sim. And what this means is that you will be able to fly X-Plane in real weather, no matter where in the world you are and at whatever altitude you're flying. As you can see here, we have the winds up to 40,000 feet, and we can see it again here. So we have different data here at maybe 40 or 35,000 feet, 30 feet. You have all the wind layers here depicted, and a few cirrus here at 24, and then you have the scattered cumulus here, and of course you can see the rain. Actually, we can actually go to manually edit, and now of course I've shown this in the first look, or in X-Plane 12 weather. I've shown you a very detailed look at the weather, so we're not going to be doing a detailed look at the weather system here, but suffice it to say that you can actually manipulate all the wind layers. You can select the cloud types and what have you, and if I say done, now you can see that there's probably more rain coming. I'm not sure what's going on here, but you go to the inside. Now you can see visibility. You can see actually the raindrops right there from the windshield, because the actual rain, the layer of that rain actually is closer to the ground, and that is also simulated in X-Plane 12. Again, it looks like there is something that needs fixing here in terms of the fog or the haze. But if you actually go to the upper look at the actual clouds here, they actually look pretty good. Yeah. And here, as we go through the clouds, and you can see the cloud smoothing and how they actually, if we look at how they mix with the terrain, it actually looks pretty good. The smoothing probably needs a little bit more work here, as you can see, but nothing too serious, and nothing. I don't think that Laminar is going to ignore this. I'm sure that they are going to fix that in due course. And so far, they have been really working on the fixes for everything that they have reported and everything that's been reported to them. So I think it's really it's going to be lines form telling everyone. Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to go back to real weather. Now, this weather is not very good for flying conditions. So again, but I do want to show you Innsbruck, and as you've seen, we've seen LaGuardia Airport, and this is if we go here and take a look again at Innsbruck. Again, this is a default airport, default X-Plane 12. As you can see, very nice graphic assets all over, and now you can very clearly see the refraction or the wet surfaces here in X-Plane 12.
All stations, Innsbruck Trainbitten QNH 1001.
All right, I think just for the hell of it, let's go ahead and give it full power and depart. Now you can see the rain effect here as we accelerate down the runway. You can see that, It could use some improvement in my view, but still better than nothing. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, here we go, and we rotate, and positive rate, and gear is going up. Very nice sounds. There we go as we climb. And by the way, it's got icing conditions and all sorts of, you know, the weather conditions will affect the aircraft. And obviously we are going to stall if we keep going at this rate. But I think you get the idea of how the rain effect is on the windshield. There we go as we continue our climb. Yeah, we are stalling there a bit. Right, so we'll ease off there. All right, so that's another thing I wanted to show you guys. So now you can see the rain effect in X-Plane 12, which is again something brand new. It's much improved than the previous versions before the updates. So yeah, I do like what I'm seeing. I do like the improvements that I'm seeing. And again, just look at how handling the aircraft takes a bit of work.
Caution terrain. Caution terrain.
It looks like we're getting close to a mountain here, and I can't really see anything. Not very good conditions for for flying this kind of aircraft without weather radar. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to head over to, all right. So now the next thing I'm going to do, we're going to leave the Beach Baron, and I'm going to select the Piper Cub. Now, do you guys have a specific airport where you'd like us to test the Piper Cub? Or I can actually go, some thunder sounds would complete the immersion. The thunder sounds are there, and I will have you listen to them, Pip, in just a minute. EHGG. All right, let's do that. EHGG. All right, and we're going to go and leave the aircraft. We'll leave it here on runway. All right, we'll just leave it here. That's fine. And all right, that's set. Customize. Start with engines running. All right, start the new flight. All right. So overall, I think X-Plane 12 is really starting to look very, very good in terms of the visuals. The flight model in X-Plane 12 is really second to none, and I highly recommend that you visit the X-Plane official YouTube channel and listen to the excellent videos by Austin Myers, the person who wrote X-Plane. Now we are in the Piper Cub, and what do you think, guys? Look at the nice texturing. It's just absolutely beautiful. And again, all of the aircraft that we've tested so far are default aircraft in X-Plane 12. There's nothing that I have. Can we see the FPS? For sure. I'm not sure if this overlay comes during the stream. But yeah, I'm getting 76 FPS right now. I don't get anything, by the way, below 40. I'll show you the performance. Don't worry, we'll take a look at the performance in just a little while. But yeah, we're getting about, I don't know, 79, 80 FPS, whatever, which is pretty good. So again, if we take a look here at the outside, and this is really a very lovely aircraft. I love flying the Piper Cub. You can see the nice clouds here. The formation of the clouds here is very nice. Let's go ahead and scroll up all the way here. Right here, so you can see again a very believable scene. The clouds are much improved than the previous betas, as you can see here in the cloud smoothing. Very nice indeed. Look at that. Very, very nice indeed. Really, they've done a good job. Even the clouds far in the distance, I think, look good. They fix a lot of the pixelation and the noise that we used to see far in the distance in this release candidate 3, and I hope they continue to improve it because it really is starting to look very, very nice. So in my view, major improvements in this update, release candidate 3, which is again indicative of the X-Plane 12 nearing the exit from early access and moving to official release. So we're going to fly this aircraft just a little bit, but first let me go ahead and just give you a few on my graphics settings. So I'm sure that a lot of you guys are wondering what I'm doing. So the texture quality is on maximum, the ambient occlusion is on ultra, the rendering resolution is FSR super sampling on ultra. Now I am running X-Plane in 4K, so I have a 4K 43-inch monitor. If you are interested in my full PC specs, please type !specs in the chat command and you will be able to get a link to my full specs. They are also included in the video description. Anti-aliasing at 4x MSAA, entropic filtering at 16. The cloud quality, the shadow quality, and the vegetation are all at maximum, and I've set the rendering distance and the world object density to high. Now, with those exact settings on a 2K monitor on my 3090 card, I used to get about 35 FPS or so. So the performance jump with the RTX 4090 and the 139K in X-Plane is definitely noticeable. All right, so we've done that. And by the way, if you have a 4K monitor, I highly recommend that you push this down to FSR super sampling and put this on ultra. It will take away all your stutters. I'm not sure if the 2K monitors with stutters will also benefit from this, but definitely if you have a 4K monitor, I have a couple of my friends who've tested this and they confirm that they completely remove the stutters on 4K displays. All right, so we are done with that, and we're just going to go now and take off, and let's see how this Piper Cub fares up. We're going to release the parking brake, and we're going to give it full power. There we go. And let's see here. We'll wait just for the nose to come down a little bit. There we go. Sure, it's a STOL aircraft, a short takeoff and landing aircraft. Again, very, very lovely to fly this Piper Cub in X-Plane. Very, very fluid aircraft. And as you can see, this actually is a very convincing and very immersive environment that, that I'm flying in with the Piper Cub. Again, a default aircraft from Laminar Research, and it just is looking fantastic. Again, you can see the clouds in the distance, and yeah, here's a look at the outside, and you can tap on the brakes there, stop the wheels from spinning. There we go. Very nice indeed. And let's do a flyby. Now, some terrain textures, as you can see here, are kind of off, and that's something hopefully will be fixed later on. But again, as we travel through in this direction, you can see the houses, and they are probably not indigenous to this region. They use probably the same models across the sim, but quite frankly, I don't really care much about seeing proper houses that belong to this specific country that I'm flying in. Especially when you're flying airliners, doesn't really matter. If you're flying VFR, then you probably want to turn and see some points of interest and things of that nature. And that's where I think X-Plane 12 does not really offer much in terms of the VFR experience. It does offer aircraft that fly extremely well for training purposes. But if you are someone who likes to fly and fly VFR and kind of navigate through, it would be very difficult to do that with X-Plane because it does not use the real world real world mappings of the streets, the roads, and and the buildings. And so you don't really see the points of interest. You don't really sometimes see specific mountains, or the mountain heights are inaccurate because it uses a plausible world, is what they call it, a plausible world. But it just is so fantastic to be able to fly in X-Plane with this level of immersion. As you can see, very, very nice experience here flying this Cub around. Very fluid experience. Performance is very good in this release candidate 3. I'd like to see more. We should be able to get a lot more FPS with my PC on X-Plane, so performance still needs a little bit of tuning in my view, and I believe Laminar has listed this as one of the known issues. Now, one interesting thing you can do with X-Plane is you can view, or you can take a look at all the forces acting on the aircraft. So if you click on Control M, you can see it says wind delta. I don't think you can see much here, but this is the element wind delta. Now, this is the element force. And now you can see the lift forces acting on the aircraft, as you can see. So what is providing lift and what is not providing lift? You can see that visually. So these are all the forces acting on the aircraft. Now, if I begin to turn, you'll see that things will change a little bit. There you go. You can see that things are changing. Yep. And now we can see again what's providing the lift there. And we can go again Control and M. And now we can see the element force in percentage. You can see all the degrees in front, back, the entire structure of the aircraft, and the stream wind delta. And we can see the stream wind in knots. And then the streamlines, wake turbulence. There's a little bit of that, I think. And then microbursts. We don't have any of these, or maybe you think we need to turn this way. No microbursts, and we're back to the normal on this way. I mean, guys, look at this. Look at this scene here. I mean, this looks pretty good, if you ask me. The clouds, the the vegetation, the overall experience looks pretty good. Not in every spot, but for the most part, I think it looks pretty good. All right, excellent. So microbursts are a failure. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, folks, is we're going to load up another aircraft, and we are going to, this time, this is the only payware aircraft that I want to go to, because I want to show you, again, with a payware aircraft, again, how this performance fares up. So now we're going to be taking a little bit at, a look at performance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to load up the Airbus A330. Let's select a suitable livery for your viewing pleasure. We're going to select Virgin Atlantic, and we're going to go to London Heathrow. Now, sometimes when I do this, it requires me to completely close X-Plane, but hopefully it won't do it today while we're on stream. So far, the stream, the X-Plane has been behaving very well. As we jump from one aircraft to another in different locations. I've had some issues with it earlier, but yeah, it's hopefully it won't happen. So Carl, I think Laminar especially wants to work on the cirrus clouds. That's, I think, one of the things that they want to work on. So now it says preparing world, and I think that is probably when, all right, perfect. So it did work without a hitch. Now, what I'd like to say, first of all, about this Airbus, which is the Airbus A330 for X-Plane 12, it is the flagship aircraft for this sim. And you can see in this payware airport, you can see there's a lot more aliasing in the buildings, and I'm not sure why, but that is definitely the case. All right, now in terms of performance, I think we're doing pretty good in terms of performance. Let's bring up the performance counter. I'm getting about 42 FPS with my settings at London Heathrow, and with the Airbus A330. By the way, if I load up the TOLUS, the frames are going to go up to about 55 or 60, which is excellent. And the reason being, the TOLUS is very optimized for performance. Before we actually depart, and I do want to let you guys hear the sounds of this aircraft, I want to actually say that this is very good work by Laminar on this aircraft. And everything is functional. The sounds are exceptional. The button sounds, the battery sounds, the APU sounds, all the sounds are done very, very well. And again, the work of probably Daniela. She's an expert in, in FMOD sounds. So I'm pretty sure that this is probably her work. And let's see here if we can bring this guy up. All right, let's arm it. And we're going to put flaps 1. And well, let's see here. We're going to put the brakes full arm. And all right, so let's test that. All right, it's not liking what I'm doing there. All right. Again, from the visuals, as you can see now, this is a a default aircraft, a very nice aircraft, very well developed, and this is, ladies and gentlemen, the only airport in this review of X-Plane 12 that is a payware airport. Everything else we've done so far is default, and we're going to continue with default. But I just wanted to show you again the performance of X-Plane 12 in one of the most detailed areas in the sim using a payware airport, so that you guys can, again, saying, well, we've seen everything in default, and default probably doesn't require a lot of resources, and so Q8, what is it going to look like when we have an add-on airport that is a payware airport like London Heathrow? So that is what we're going to do. We're gonna do here again. I want to show you again. This is some of the work by Origami Studios, and they've done. That you can see that the grass here actually is animated. The aircraft looks absolutely gorgeous. The A330. And let's go ahead and take a look here, just so that you guys, again, can get an appreciation of how detailed this area is. And performance is still very solid, 46 FPS or so. Here, as you can see here. Again, very, very detailed. Lots of vegetations, lots of buildings. There we go. Here, as you can see here, pretty smooth. No worries whatsoever there in terms of the... Right, let's go ahead and change the date back to today's date, and you can again witness how the seasons actually change. By the way, not just the seasons, but actually the time. During this time in December, it's going to be different. So you're not going to see the sun coming up like that. So today is December 9th, and we're going to say that it's 10 a.m. All right, and we're going to say apply. And what this will do now is you will notice that the trees and the time, of course, the sunrise and sunset changes in accordance with real life. And we're going to take a look at that in just a minute here, applying real. All right, here we go. Now you can see that those nice green trees are gone. You can see the texture, actually. The mesh has also changed. And you can see now the trees don't look as green. And they are all leafless trees, as you can see here. Again, very nice improvements in this version of X-Plane. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to take off. Again, I really wanted to show you guys here. Let me just again show you this airport, which is a nice airport. I think very detailed airport. Available, by the way, on the IndyBuild store. If you are interested in buying London Heathrow for X-Plane 12, this is a very nice, clean rendition of the airport. Want to see it at nighttime? Maybe that's something you guys are interested in, so let's do that. And that's the airport during nighttime. All right. And we're going to bring it back here to morning. And let's take a look here. All right, so we're going to take off, and then we're going to replay the takeoff. So let's release the parking brake, and let's go. Again, take notice of the beautiful sounds aboard the aircraft. All right, here we go. As we go down the runway, still maintaining about 40 FPS. which is pretty good. We're going to rotate at about 120, 140 knots. Right, rotate. And positive rate of climb, gears going up. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? That's just brilliant. Here's a wing view for you guys. Again, it looks really, really nice. Here as we make a turn. I'm going to leave the FPS counter. I'm not sure if you actually can see the performance overlay during a stream, but I'm going to leave it there. Now we can, of course, see the frames are going up. And my temperature, the CPU temperature, is currently 36 Celsius. So it's pretty cool. And the GPU temperature is about 53. So yeah, so nothing serious there in terms of performance. All right, so here's the A330, and this is again a default aircraft, one of the flagships. And by the way, just very quickly, if you go to the menu here, you see there's an option here that says show aircraft for older version of X-Plane. If you click that, you'll see a lot more aircraft, so you'll get the the 737 and what have you. So we're going to remove those. We don't need them. I just want to show you what's new in this version of X-Plane. Perfect. All right. So do you guys want me to go to a specific airport for the next aircraft? Or would you like me to pick one? Has Laminar updated the A330 MCDU? Not yet. That is something they are going to do. So right now it uses the, let me say resume. Right now it uses the default X-Plane FMC, but that is something that is work in progress, and it will come very soon to the sim. All right, so that's the speed. All right. By the way, this needs to go here so you can see the lights. All right. Master caution. All right, perfect. All right. So EGPC. All right. Let's go to EGPC, and we're going to change the aircraft. Let's see here. EG. Which airport is that? I don't think I've been to it before. Wick. Huh. All right. So the next aircraft is going to be the Austin Meyer aircraft, and this is Austin's the Lancer Evolution. That's Austin Meyer's aircraft, and we're going to load it there. So let's say start new flight. Bob International vocal reaction. Hello, my friend. I'll just hold that for our next test, and I'll go there and take a look at it. All right. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is this is Austin Meyer's. You can see here it says Lancer Meyer. So that is actually the person who wrote X-Plane. That is actually his aircraft in the sim, and I think this is a nice touch for him to actually bring his aircraft in the sim. Again, very nicely modeled aircraft. We can change the time of day here a little bit, maybe. Yeah, all right. Looks like it's some rain is there. All right, let's take a look at the outside real quick. Now, this airport doesn't really have much around it for us to see, but I think you can see the clouds again here. You can see the different layers of clouds. So there's the layer here, another layer here, and many layers of clouds actually here. But this aircraft is actually a pretty nice aircraft to fly. And I personally had a lot of fun flying it. I did a few hops with it, short hops. It's quite enjoyable and quite fun to fly. And really, I think just the fact that that Austin has brought his plane into the sim is a very creative idea on its own. So I think it's pretty cool that we actually get to do that. I'm very sorry, guys, that I'm not really paying too much attention to chat, and that is because I really want to focus on I want to really focus on showing you guys what's happening here in the sim. All right, so this is again another default aircraft. Very nice sounds, and we can release the parking brake. Oh, the wind. Looks like some oof. All right. All right, here we go. The wind is pretty violent here as we depart, and gears going up. Very, very powerful aircraft with very powerful engines. And here, let's take a look at the outside real quick. Absolutely gorgeous. All right. So that is the Austin Meyer Lancer Evolution. And very, very nice, very enjoyable aircrafts, very well textured. As you can see so far, all the default aircraft that we have tested out have very nice texturing, very nice 3D modeling, and sensational sounds. And it really does. If you purchase X-Plane 12, if you decide that you want to invest in this simulator, you can actually get a lot of enjoyment just by, using or utilizing the default aircraft in the sim. There's one more aircraft, but before we go to another aircraft, there is one thing I'd like to show you guys. And we are going to go to Edit Configuration. And we are going to go to the same airport here. We're going to say Customize. Now from here, we're going to say Special Start. And from the Special Start menu, we're going to select, no, we don't want Get Me Lost, Not Formation Flying. We're going to use, by the way, there's all of these scenarios you can actually try out. So we have frigate, carrier, small oil rig. We have the gravel, seaplane, helipad. But that's not what I wanted to show you guys. All right, let's go back. Discard the changes. Let's see here. We're going to go and select the... there we go. We're going to select the glider. And we are going to select the same airport. Let's select EG. What was this airport that you guys have... Lisbon, LPPT. All right, well, let's go there. LPPT. That's Lisbon. And we're going to say Customize and Special Start. Let's see here. All right, forget that. Forget that. We're going to select this one and we're going to say Start. All right, so it says because you change your aircraft, you will end your current flight and start a new one as you configured it. Is this what you want? Yes, that's what I want. Now, with the glider, when you start the glider on the runway, you will actually have a small aircraft that's going to tow the aircraft. And that didn't happen exactly like I wanted to. So let me, oops. All right, let's do here. Let's go back to Lisbon, LPPT. And all right, we're going to select it on the runway, confirm, start. Perfect. All right. So normally what happens is that there is a small aircraft that will tow the glider. It will actually take off, and then you can disconnect the rope and fly the aircraft on your own. All right, I think what's going on here. All right, so let me remove this so you guys can see. All right, so it says release the brakes to take off. As you can see now with the glider, We have a smaller plane that's going to, this is Lisbon, by the way. So yeah, understood, fine. Okay, all right, so let's release the parking brake. And now it says, press the space bar to release the tow. Now you can see that we're actually being towed. So all we have to do is just maintain the aircraft here on the runway. And now we are airborne. All right, here we go. Just how cool is that? I thought that would be something interesting to show you guys for those of you who don't know that this actually exists in X-Plane. You can do formation flying. You can do a lot of different things. So let's just gain some speed here as the aircraft gains some altitude. And the minute we say we don't want it, here we just hit the space bar and we're pretty much on our own now. And here we go. And that's our glider. Now you can of course tell that I'm not very proficient in flying gliders, but yeah, we'll just bring it back here and land it back on the runway. But I really wanted to show you this again to show you what X-Plane is capable of and what are the different scenarios that you can actually create with X-Plane, which by the way, you can give it power here, but I'm not sure it gives you that much power. There we go. And you can see the crosswind there. One of the things I love about X-Plane is coming to land during crosswind. Oh, look at that. All right, we're back on the ground in one piece, thankfully. All right, so let's take a look here. By the way, thank you very much for all those of you who just became subscribers of the channel. I really appreciate it very much. Mogo, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. All right, so here's what we're going to do next, folks. There is a very special aircraft, and it's a default aircraft. And for this aircraft, I'm actually going to leave it in its cold and dark state, which is... actually, I like it even a lot better than the A330, which is the Cessna Citation. The Cessna Citation is actually a very nice aircraft, and I think, in my view, it's very well developed. And if you look at the range of default aircraft in X-Plane and how well they've been developed, again, as default aircraft with, you know, very nice sounds, very nice visuals, and in some cases, very accurate flight model too. I think really the price of the sim becomes, you know, irrelevant. It really is not a very big asking price for what this sim really offers. And yeah, it is. The scenery is not realistic, but I think there is a lot of realistic elements in the sim that makes it a very enjoyable. Both for the consumers as well as the pilot, you know, for pilot training and those who want to are serious about, you know, their flight training. So, if you guys can give me a nice airport to spawn this aircraft at, I will be very grateful. Chicago said, "Do you need a VFR clearance to fly gliders?" Yes, you do. I believe you do. Variety of excellent, absolutely. So the next one, we're going to go to CYZF. All right. CYZF. That's Yellow Knife. All right. Yellow Knife. We're going to put the aircraft not at the gate. First air. Yeah, that works. All right. And let's start here. Now, the reason I want to start this aircraft from its cold and dark state, and by the way, I haven't done a lot of flights in it yet. The reason I want to do this is because this aircraft, from the 3D modeling, the texturing, the sound perspective, is simply outstanding. One of the very best default aircraft by Laminar Research. Now, it's the FMC aboard this aircraft is not, I think it's part of the default. Oh, it's raining here, so you'll not be able to see things properly. But all right, well, first let's take a look at the airport. And again, as you can see, the airport, the layout of the airport looks really good, guys. Look at that. I mean, this is default airport. You know what? It is raining, and I kind of wanted to go to a place where there's some sun. All right, well, we'll come back to that. I'll change it back to real weather for the takeoff, but for the time being, I'm just going to come here. I'm going to say manually enter weather, and I'm going to select VFR few clouds. That works, and we're going to say apply. All right, so that's better. So because I do want you guys to see the interior without. All right, so that's a little better. It's still not where I wanted to, but I think you can see now how well textured this aircraft is. And this is actually default. Look at that. I mean, this is payware quality. Payware quality aircraft, really. And yeah, here again, the fully modeled passenger cabin, all the lights. It's not interactive, but nonetheless, I do like this aircraft a lot. I think it's one of the most successful default aircraft in X-Plane 12. Looks absolutely sensational in terms of the texturing, the 3D modeling. Again, it's not. It's a lot better than a lot of the payware aircraft that you'll see, but it's really special because I think for one, it's default. It comes free of charge with the SIM. But also, we're going to listen to the sounds, and we'll start it now from its cold and dark state. Again, everything is modeled. You can even move the lights. Look at that. Again, for being a default aircraft, I think it's pretty good. This is probably, in my view, this is the most successful jet in X-Plane as a default aircraft. This is probably the most successful one of their lineup. Of course, I like the other GA aircrafts as well, but as far as the jets are concerned, I think this is better than the A330 and better than the default 737. That's my personal opinion. All right, so we're going to go down here, and let's take a look here. This is battery 1 and battery 2. Listen to those sounds. Battery 1, battery 2 are on, and let's turn on the avionics and the ECAS system as well. And now we can see all the lights. Again, very, very nice sounds all over. The displays are done quite well for a default aircraft. Again, this is really, really good. And then we can come down here and we can start the APU. So the first thing we're going to do is master on. And then we're going to start the APU start. Just leave a little bit. And now we can see the EGT rising. We're going to turn on the generator and bleed air on, and then max. All right, so now we have the APU powering up the aircraft, and it's the FMC here, so you can go to the position in it and load flight plan. Obviously, we're not at Innsbruck, but it took the last destination that I've entered into the FMC. It works, you can go to, it's got the performance, so it's got a slightly different, it's not exactly the default FMC, but it's, very easy to set up. It just has a different display, but I think it works exactly like the, maybe I'll do a full flight, if you guys want me to I'll do a full flight on this, maybe next week. They have got to update their default avionics badly. Yeah, the avionics need work, I do agree. So, HD Simulation, welcome aboard, my friend. I agree. My favorite default in X-Plane 12. Yeah, it's just really sensational aircraft. All right, so we have the APU running. We have everything here good. All right, let's go ahead and start the engines. And the engine sounds are actually quite spectacular here. So let's go and start with the right ignition and the right engine. And now we can see the N2 rising, and we can see the engine starting here. Look at that. Again, even the external, I mean, just look at how beautifully modeled the aircraft is. the use of PBR. Very nice sounds indeed. And look at those beautiful wings. All right. So we're getting there now, and we can come down here, and the ride generator can go on. Ride generator is on. This ignition can go back to the off position, and we can start the left engine. So left engine, there we go. All right, now we're starting. There we go. We see N2 rising. Brilliant. All right, and now we can turn off the ignition, and we're going to turn on the left generator as well. Excellent. Pitos can go on, and let's see here. Let me remove this real quick. All right. So center wing. All right. If we go to the on position, now we've the caution there is gone, and this is pretty much all it takes to start this aircraft. Now we can turn off the APU bleed to the off position. We can turn off the generator and reset, and we can stop the stop the APU. Right, APU is now stopping. You can see the APU RPM is decelerating. And once the APU RPM is stable, we can turn on the master APU switch off. And we are now pretty much ready to go. Fully functional autopilot, works exactly as it should. And you've got all your lights here as well. Windshield, all of the buttons, all those buttons actually work. All your anti-icing equipment are operational. You've got your hydraulics. Again, the pump A, pump B, where everything is on normal. All looks good here. All looks good here. You can also do the lights inside the cockpit. So let's do that. Give it a little bit of lighting. And yeah, see here, and you check this out. How cool is that? Alex, that's I guess who Daniela. So that's the lady that worked on the sounds of this, which I think are brilliant. So again, you can see the nice lighting. Here, let me change the time now a little bit. Look at that, guys. Look at those beautiful lights in the Cessna Citation. The default Cessna Citation in X-Plane 12. All right, so we've got here, if we look at the outside, and very, very nice aircraft. All right, let's release the parking brake, and let's give it a little bit of power here. Again, you have got to listen to the sounds of this aircraft as we depart. So would you guys like me to do an ATC overview to kind of take a look at X-Plane 12 ATC? We can do a short flight from Los Angeles or from John Wayne to LAX. If that's something you'd like me to do, I will more than gladly do it. Does it have VNAV? Well, I can see that there is a VNAV button here. So it looks like it does have it. Yeah, there is VNAV. I'm not sure if it works or not. That remains to be seen. I have tested this aircraft a little bit yesterday, did a short flight, and it's just really a joy to fly. And yeah, we're going to come here to the runway and take off. I want you to, again, listen to the sounds and just get a little bit of appreciation for what Laminar has done with this default aircraft, which I think is the most successful aircraft in this sim in X-Plane 12. So a lot has changed from X-Plane 11. So for those who were saying that this was simply an upgrade from X-Plane 11, I completely disagree with that notion. And I think this is totally a brand new sim. Yeah, of course, it's built on the base of X-Plane 11, but it's a brand new sim with a lot of brand new features, a new flight model, new weather system, refractions, graphics, 3D water, 3D vegetation, excellent new default aircraft. How can that be an upgrade just from X-Plane 11? I do not understand that. But let's go ahead and give it power here and take off, and we're going to rotate it about 120 knots or so. Listen to the beautiful sounds. Guys, I got to do a flyby. Beautiful sounds. All right, here we go. Rotate. And positive rate of climb. Gears going up. Right, gears going up. Lovely night lighting. Now here is a situation where the clouds don't look very good in my view, and that's where I think Laminar still needs to do a little bit of work. As a Cessna Citation type-rated pilot in real life, I enjoy the stuff they did here. Looks great, sounds good, feels right. Oh, thanks very much, Carl, for that. And ladies and gentlemen, by the way, I did not know that you are that you fly the Cessna Citation in real life, Carl. So that's info to me, but you have the attestation of a real-world pilot, ladies and gentlemen, and that this is, you know, something that resembles what we see in real life. And let's just ease off here on the power. Yeah, look at that. Again, here we can change the time a little bit. Lovely sounds. Lovely sounds. All right. So a few more things. I'm not sure if you guys want to do the... I had to decide, stick with X-Plane 11, upgrade to X-Plane 12, and I'm staying true to XP. For me, it's a big PC upgrade, and X-Plane 12 is the beginning of the next year. Oh, wow, Carl. That's very impressive. The instruments are unreliable. That I don't know. I haven't tested them. But we click on the autopilot, and we click on the heading. We click on altitude. Again, it's doing, I think, what it's supposed to do. So you have the basic functionality of the autopilot. So those work well. All right. So there's one more thing I want to do, and then you guys can let me know if we want to do the ATC overview. Maybe we don't do the whole thing, but maybe I can show you a little bit of how it works. But before we do so, I want to show you one more thing, which is, by the way, well, there is a helicopter as well. I'm not very good with helicopters, but I can definitely show you if that's what you want to do. Now I want to show you, I need to bring back those aircraft. So this is not something from X-Plane 12, but I do want to show you the Phantom. I want to show you the afterburner and how the afterburner is done, because I think it's done quite well. So we're going to select KBJR, that's Bangor International. It's a military airport, or used to be a military airport, has one of the world's longest runways ever. So we're going to bring it here, and let's go ahead and say start. All right, I missed it. Okay. Benjamin George Jr. says, I love XP, and that makes two of us, Benjamin, because I do love X-Plane. I think it is just really a brilliant sim. All right, so here's what I want to show you. Again, let's go to change. No, let's go to the aircraft, and we're going to say start with engines. We're just not going to take too much time to start the engines, so we're just going to go with engine starting. All right, so this aircraft comes from X-Plane 11, but I want to show you what happens with the heat blare, not the heat blare, but the afterburners, and how Laminar has done this. So let's take a look here. I'm going to release the parking brake and just take notice of what happens as the afterburners engage. Right. Notice the effect on the tires on the wet runway. See that? You can see it clearly now. That's another thing I like in this version. They had it in the previous version, but it wasn't as good. It's definitely much better. The water splash is much better in this version. All right, let's engage the afterburners. Look at that. Oh yeah. Woohoo! Beautiful. Again, guys, really very enjoyable experience. Even in a military jet, you know, you get to enjoy X-Plane. And here we can change this again to nighttime. Again, very nice night lighting, even on the older aircraft. So I just really wanted to show you this. And here we can ease off on the throttle. There you go. See that? And one more time for your viewing pleasure. Look at that. That's really cool. All right. So we pretty much have taken a look at almost all the aircraft in X-Plane 12. All right, so let me remove this here. Okay, so another aircraft. So we've done the Beechcraft Baron. We haven't looked at the Beech King Air. Maybe we'll skip this one. We've taken a look at the Cessna. I think all of you guys have seen the Cirrus. We've done this one. This one is by Aerobas. The Lancer Evolution we've done. All right, so there's the Vans RV and the Stinson L5. And I think both are worth ex-CPL pilot. Welcome aboard, my friend. How about some water stuff? All right. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's do that. All right. So let's go ahead, and that's a good suggestion. I think we haven't done that. So let's take the Cessna Skyhawk float, and we're going to go to customize. We're going to say special start, and we're going to select a seaplane start. All right. And we're going to say confirm and start. Hang on. Let's go to customize. And let's say download real weather. Done. And now we can go to change location and customize special start. And we're going to say seaplane start. Why is it not? All right. There we go. Seaplane start. And by the way, when you select it the second time, it's going to take you to a different place. So this is completely random. So that's okay. All right, let's see, start. Perfect. Now I've done a, I think a review of an aircraft. I can't recall which one it was, and it had floats. What is this? Huh. All right, let's try this again. Let's see, where is our float aircraft? That is our float aircraft. We're going to say start a new flight. Something is off there. let's see. Change location. Customize. Seaplane 14. Seaplane 32 water. It should be water. I'm not sure why it's not putting it. All right, let's give it a try now. Maybe that will put us on water. Still not on water. Let's take a look here. Why is there's no water here? There is no water at all. All right. We can go change here and we'll say search for features. So if you sort by features here, you'll be able to find Seaplane. All right, so Sandy Bay Water Airdrome, and that will guarantee us that we go to a water airdrome, hopefully. Apply real weather, preparing world. All right, perfect. So we are taking. Oh, why is it acting up like that? Let's see here. All right, that's much better. All right. So here, if we go and look at the outside, I mean, look at that. Look at how beautiful, first of all, the 3D water is. And again, if we start giving it some power, you will notice the... I think we need to... Let me remove this here. And this is the landing gear. No, this is the brake. So how do we actually make it... Alright, let's give it some power. Alright, here we go. I think you need a little bit of... There you go. See this here? Look at that, guys. Look at that. Not sure why it keeps putting me in this position. Woo! Alright, let's see if we can get this aircraft airborne. Woo! You crashed. The aircraft was carrying ice at the time of impact to prevent the stay out of clouds, precipitation, where the temperature near freezing. Wow, guys, did you see that? We actually broke. Look at that. Wow. Look at the smoke. Look at that. Yeah, it looks like it was pretty cold. And that's why the aircraft, we've completely blew up the engine. So much for our water test, huh? Yeah, nice crash model. Absolutely, yeah. Time for the T-cut. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, let's do a new flight. Seaplane. We are at the same... I think we can select the South End Water Airdrome. And a number of, actually, Outer Lake Airdrome. All right, let's start this one here. And hopefully we can take off and have some fun with the seaplane as well. I think we've done pretty much everything today. Right, here we go. Let's see here.
Camera is saved.
All right, let's see if we can take it to the other side. All right, there we go. You can see the rain effect on the Cessna is probably done slightly better than the other aircraft, but look at this scene, guys. Look at how beautiful this is. There's definitely some strong wind. All right, here we go. We're hardly picking up any speed, and I can see icing conditions there. So let's see if we can pick up some speed here. I don't think we are picking up. Ooh. How about that? Some realism for you guys. All right. Well, I'm not very good with that, guys. Sorry, but maybe also the weather conditions are not very good here, and it looks like it's some icing conditions, which are preventing us from flying the aircraft properly. But I do want to show you guys also before we, before we move on, I do want to show you. So we're going to do a helicopter, and this one is fine. Customize. All right, let's do start. Yeah, you wouldn't take off on those conditions. You are absolutely right. So I think for those reasons we weren't able to lift off. And the icing actually was doing what it's supposed to do. And now this is a helicopter in... here, let's look at the outside. Look at that, guys. I mean, this looks absolutely sensational. Look at the rotors, the beautiful sounds. The modeling of the helicopter is just done really, really well. Here's the inside. Again, very nicely modeled. Again, this is default. And I don't think these switches work, but everything here works. Again, not exactly high fidelity, but and not as well done as the other aircraft, but still very nice. So let's go ahead and switch to the outside view, and let's see if we can lift off. Can tell that I'm not very good with that, but I'll try my best. There we go. And gears going up. Look at how beautiful this is. I mean, you can see the rotors there. Wow, that's really nice. And let's do a flyby. Again, something for everyone, including helicopter lovers. Really, I mean, everything. It's really, I call X-Plane 12 the complete sim, is what I call it. It is definitely very fast, yes. You can see, by the way, a train there. You can see the trains down here. Not a bad helicopter, if you ask me. Let's see if we can actually, if you land it on the ground, will it actually explode? Or would it let you... Look at that. Well, it did let us... kind of lands like an aircraft, which is kind of cool. Alright, here's something for helicopter lovers as well. And there are a few more helicopters that you can play with. But yeah, it's definitely nice. It's there for those of you who like helicopters. It is available. All right. So there's one more thing that is actually, let me show you this aircraft as well. And for this aircraft, I'm going to go to Lima 52 Oceano County, and we're going to select the runway. No, we're going to select runway 11. And we're going to say start. And that is going to conclude all the aircraft. Now, there's two things we can do, guys. I can show you an overview of a short flight using the built-in X-Plane 12 ATC, or we could call it a day. Now, we can do the full flight. We can do just the beginning of the flight, and then we can do the giveaway and see who's won. Or if you want to do a full flight on the using the built-in ATC, that's really up to you guys. You let me know what you'd like to do. ATC, all right, Rand, do you want to do the full thing, so the full flight, or do you want to do just a short part? For those that want a great helicopter for X-Plane 12. Yeah, I mean, it's got, now this is the Stinson L5, and again, guys, look at the beautiful texturing of this aircraft. If we go to the outside, just look at that. Look at how beautifully modeled this aircraft is. Fine texturing on this aircraft. And let's do one thing here. Notice the exhaust and the smoke that comes as we push the throttle forward. Pretty cool. Look at the texturing, just really phenomenal texture work on those default aircraft. If you look at the details here, reflection of the glass, this is really very, very nice work by Laminar Research. And the sounds of the engine, again, are quite nice. All F-mod sounds. It's got a pilot there as well. I'm sure this is not Austin, but yeah, it's got a pilot in there. All right, so let's go ahead and fly this around here, Oceano County. And I do want to show you again, it's got really a very nice, those sounds are juicy, absolutely. Tail, it's probably with the increased prop wash as it should. Wow. Yeah, here, let's take a look here. Look at that. Brilliant. All right, let's go ahead and take off. I'm gonna give it full power, and I'm just gonna wait for the nose to come down a little bit, and then we'll deploy. All right, here we go. Nose is coming down, and we're ready to lift off. And we are airborne, and we just took off from Oceano County, or Lima 52. And if you look here, outside the window, look at the houses here, and the traffic, the vegetation. It looks very nice in my view. Again, guys, I'm not comparing this to Microsoft Flight Simulator, but this actually looks very good. And hats off to Laminar on all the vast improvements that they've made in X-Plane 12. Really very, very well done. All right, one thing we haven't done in this review is, let's actually, at random here, let's try to stall this aircraft, see what happens. I'm gonna pitch up, hold it, hold it. And actually this behavior, carburetor I suspected increased throttle, or this is the kind of thing I love about X-Plane, is things are simulated. And yeah, by the way, this is the correct behavior for this tail dragger. They don't actually, it takes a lot to stall them. So that is pretty accurate. Look at that. What a beautiful aircraft. I just absolutely adore this aircraft. I love it. Then you can see that the overall mesh in X-Plane 12 is not bad. The vegetation is quite nice. All right. All right, I think we've seen just about all the aircrafts. All right. Now, for the final kind of part of our review is what we're going to do is Steve says full flight, full model. Sydney also has a default improved scenery worth the showcase too. Gustavo, how are you doing, my friend? All right. So here's what we're going to do, guys. In the last part of this review, we are going to be taking the Cessna 172 for a short flight from John Wayne Airport to Los Angeles. And for this, I'm going to go to the main menu. I'm going to say a new flight, and we're going to select where's our Cessna. Cessna, we don't want the G1000. We'll use the regular Cessna Skyhawk. And let's go ahead and load it up at John Wayne, which is Kilo Sierra November Alpha. That's John Wayne. And I'm not sure which see, West Ramp GA. All right, we'll just leave it there. All right, continue, start. And what we're going to do in this example is we're going to do ATC. Not necessarily cold climates. It happens because of the pressure. Okay, drop in the carbs. Oh, I see. It takes the heat away from the metal and it causes ice to form. Oh, that's very good to know. Thank you very much for that, Carl. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to leave this actually starting here. But what we need to do, first, let me show you John Wayne. Just just look at how beautiful this is. Just here at the aircraft parked at the General Aviation Parking. And this is John Wayne Airport. I mean, guys, look at this. This looks pretty good. Look at that. Yeah. I mean, not exactly John Wayne, but the layout is pretty believable. And we can see here, look at that. Yeah. All right. So we are going to leave the aircraft running. We are going to bring up Sim Toolkit Pro. And I kind of anticipated that a lot of you are, going to want to see the ATC. So I'm just going to say do not restore. I'm going to go to the flight plan. I've added a profile for the Cessna 172, which is this one here. We are going to be departing Kilo Sierra November Alpha, which is John Wayne Airport, and we are heading to Los Angeles. And by the way, Los Angeles looks spectacular. We're just going to select this for the flight number, and we have all the information here. Let's go and see generate plan. And I believe it's a very short plan. We're going to go to the Sierra Lima India VOR, and from there it's direct to Los Angeles. This is just to really gauge, the ATC and all the improvements. That's our flight plan. Approximately 9 minutes, 54 nautical miles. So we're going to say fly now. And we're interested in the actual flight plan. So we're going to go to the operational flight plan. We're not going to worry about any of that. We're just going to take a look here. It looks like the Muscle 8. Of course, SIDS and stars still don't work in ATC. So it's going to be the SLI VOR. So we're going to copy that one. And now we are going to bring up the ATC menu. Right. So the first thing we need to do is we need to do a radio check.
Orange County, John Wayne Ground, Broadsword 99er, radio check.
Broadsword 99er, reading you loud and clear.
All right. The sounds are okay. They're not, you know, highly realistic, but nonetheless, they're not bad. And we're going to come here now and file for our flight plan here. So the identification is November 172 Sierra Papa. We are a Cessna 172. 2 Excel Aviation flight number 99. Departure iCUE code is Kilo Sierra November Alpha. Arrival code is Kilo Lima Alpha X-ray. En route altitude, we're just going to put 3,000 feet. And from here, so we have the nav and fix. So it says the route VNY. No, we don't want VNY. We're going to put SLI. All right. And file flight plan. That's fine. Request clearance.
Orange County, John Wayne delivery, Broadsword 99er. Request IFR clearance to Los Angeles International.
Broadsword 99er, clear to Los Angeles International. Routing as filed. Maintain 3000. Squawk 3105.
All right.
Cleared IFR to Los Angeles International. Routing as filed. Maintain 3000. Squawk 3105. Broadsword 99er.
All right. So basically, so far the clearance request is spot on. The phraseology is spot on. Very, very good. The sounds, again, they're not very believable. They're good. They're not bad. They're not really bad, but they're not good in my view. By the way, there are a lot of different voices. So the voices or the accent of the controllers will change depending on the area of the world that you're at. So if you are in, for example, flying from Saudi Arabia to Dubai, the sound of the controller or the accent of the controller would be more, you know, like maybe an Arab speaking or maybe somebody from India speaking English. So that is actually a very cool feature, that the voices are localized, and that is something I like. All right, let's go ahead and request the taxi.
Orange County, John Wayne Ground, Broadsword 99er. Request taxi for departure.
Broadsword 99er, runway 20 right, taxi via Bravo and Lima. Hold short of runway 20 right.
Runway 20 right, taxi via Bravo and Lima. Hold short of runway 20 right, Broadsword 99er.
All right, so we have the taxi clearance now, and what we can do, we'll leave this window here. And if we go to the outside, you will see that we have the progressive taxi noted here. So let's go ahead and follow the progressive taxi to the runway. There we go. Let's make the turn. So far, the phraseology is pretty good, and the instructions are clear. They are correct. Nothing really to sort of make a note of, other than the voices are probably not very realistic in my view. They're still pretty good, a lot better than the previous version of X-Plane. So again, a huge improvement for the built-in ATC. All right. Let's head over to the runway now. I'm not sure if they have a Scottish accent, but the accents would differ, so you probably hear, you'd hear probably an Englishman speaking, something like that. Again, as you can see, as we taxi down to the runway, that the overall look and feel of John Wayne Airport and the surrounding area is, again, very well done. It's not, you know, it's not per real life, but it's resemblant of what you'd see in real life. So it's not completely off, but it's not realistic. But I think it's somewhere in between. But I think the balance between the visual quality and the actual flight model, so the flying experience, so I think the graphic assets are at the stage where they are, I would say they are acceptable, okay? What with the powerful flight model, the accurate flight model in X-Plane 12, I think it makes it a very strong contender. And in my view, for the serious pilot, for the serious trainer, serious trainee, I think it's an invaluable tool for those who want to train for real life in X-Plane. I just really like what they've done in this version. By the way, if you look at the VOR stations, all the radio stations are modeled, and they are modeled quite nicely in X-Plane 12. The power lines are very well modeled as well. And that's something I also appreciate a lot, because it is sometimes an immersion killer when you are passing an over a VOR station, but you actually can't see it. So it's always nice to be able to see those in the sim. All right, we're coming up to, we have all the lights. Let's put the strobe lights on. And this is the end. We're going to make the right turn here on Lima, I suppose. Locust just came in with a $20 super chat. Thank you so very much, sir. Appreciate it. That's very kind of you and very generous of you, sir. Thank you. All right, we need to contact tower. All right, so that's right. We are at the hold short point. It's asking us to contact the tower.
Contact Orange County, John Wayne Tower, 119.9er, Broadsword 99er.
All right.
Broadsword 99er, on taxiway Bravo.
Broadsword 99er, fly heading 200, wind light and variable, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff.
Fly heading 200, runway 20 right, cleared for takeoff. Broadsword 99er.
All right, so far everything is as per the real-world phraseology. A few things, probably negligible things, normally you don't really hear, but overall I think very, very good so far. Let's see what happens as we depart. Right, we're lining up with the runway 20 right, as per instructed by ATC, and let's go. Going up to 60 knots and rotate. Right, we're going to maintain about 70 knots for the climb. And maintain our current heading, which is runway heading, until otherwise instructed by ATC. So far, nothing from ATC.
Broadsword 99er, contact Orange County John Way, approach 121.3.
Contact Orange County, John Way, approach 121.3. Broadsword 99er. Broadsword 99er. Altitude 600, climbing to 3,000.
Broadsword 99er, Orange County, John Way, altimeter 3015.
Orange County, John Way, altimeter 3015. Broadthorn 99.
All right, we've set the altimeter, and we're going to continue on the same heading until further instructions are given from ATC. That's 1,000 feet. So far, so good in terms of the ATC. By the way, we can come here, go to the flight plan, and we can put
Broadsword 99er, Squawk 3105.
right SLI.
Broadsword 99er, turn right heading 290.
All right, 290.
Turn right, heading 290. Broadthorn 99.
Broadsword 99er, Squawk 3105.
Squawk 3105. Broadthorn 99.
3-1. All right, 3105.
Broadsword 99er, turn left heading 300.
All right, now that's when it gets
300. Broadthorn 99.
300. Yeah, all right, so we are looking okay now, and almost at 3,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the heading to 300. All right, and we
Broadsword
can
99er, radar contact.
go heading, GPS, altitude. There we go. 3,000. All right. Ease off on the throttle a little bit. And we can now continue
Broadsword
here.
99er, turn left heading 280. Vectors for the visual runway 06 left. Climb and maintain 3,000.
All right, let me first set this up. All right, wants to go to left heading 280. Okay.
Turn left, heading 280. Vectors for the visual runway 06 left. Climb and maintain 3,000. Broadthorn 99.
All right, that should put us, so far the instructions from ATC are okay. All right, let's put the altitude here, 3,000. All right, perfect, that's close enough. And we're going to continue on 290. Where are we? All right, let's go here. All right, if we go to the flight plan here, and we go to the next one. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Flight plan, clear. All right, And here we can put Kilo Lima. And then Alpha. Well, that's right, Alpha. And then X-ray. Right, that's Los Angeles, accept. And now we can go to the flight plan. Now we can see it here. All right, 290. We're off track there. 280, sorry, 280 is the final one. All right, so there we go. All right, so we're looking good. And ATC took me all over the place. Yeah, I think that is probably what it's going to do. And that is one of the parts where I would say that ATC capability in X-Plane 12 is still very primitive, guys. So I don't think this is one thing they haven't nailed yet. And quite frankly, if I am to look at the history of Laminar with X-Plane, so I've been using X-Plane since X-Plane 10, and looking at what they've done in X-Plane 10, X-Plane 11, and now in X-Plane 12, while I do commend them for their work and the improvements they brought into the ATC engine, I still think that it's highly primitive and far from being a functional part of the sim. So I think it's best that, in my view, that they would, outsource this to a third party that comes and develops, a robust ATC system, or for us simmers, of course, to rely on, a third party developer such as Pilot to ATC or Pro ATC or any, one of those add-ons that will be able to develop something for X-Plane 12, because the ATC, despite the effort, is still lacking, and it's lacking to a very large degree. So I don't think it's anywhere near usable. Yeah, it will probably give you the clearance, and that's about it. Keeps vectoring you in left, right, and center, and keeps clearing you to strange altitudes. I think there are very few flights that I was able to complete using the built-in ATC, and so on those bases, I would completely write off that feature from X-Plane totally. And I would really, if I were to give a piece of advice to the guys at Laminar Research, I'd say drop the development on the ATC. It's just not working. It just does not work, and it's. But I'm going to show you guys exactly. Maybe it is going to work today. I don't know. But out of every, 20 or 30 flights I do, only 1 or 2 are actually successful, where we actually get cleared by ATC to land on the runway. It normally works better for IFR flights, for long IFR flights like airliners, than for general aviation aircraft. That has also been an observation from my part. I never use ATC RAND. Yeah, I think for a good reason. If you want good ATC in MSFS, you need to create a detailed flight plan in little nav map, including altitudes, vectors, departures, and arrivals, including departure stand in the work. Yeah, that does work very well, John. Thanks very much for that. It's funny because ATC is another thing they said was going to be groundbreaking in version. Kevin, there is nothing groundbreaking about this ATC, to be very honest. And you know me, guys, as much as I love Laminar and as much as I love X-Plane 12, I am very sorry to say that the ATC in X-Plane 12 is not up to the mark at all. It's one of the weak points of the sim, and I think it's the weak point of every simulator I have seen. It's like the weakest point. It's always the weakest link is the ATC. Now, I will have to say that the built-in ATC in Microsoft Flight Simulator is slightly better than what we are experiencing here. So far, by the way, it's done okay. It hasn't really done anything wrong yet. It just keeps going, you know, 1 minute tells you to fly a heading of 300, the next minute tells you fly a heading 280, and let's see what it tells us later on. It says approach runway 06 left, climb and maintain 3000. We are at 3000 now. So we'll see what happens as we approach LAX. But just based on my experience with the ATC features, it's just not up to the mark. That's my honest opinion. I do like everything else, though. I mean, yeah, the scenery. I mean, just imagine this vegetation and the houses with ortho photos. That would just look sensational. FSX had better ATC than MSFS, and explain. Well, FSX, I don't know. I really can't. I can't really say that I completely agree with you there. ATC has never been. It's never worked properly. The voices definitely were very robotic in FSX. They are less robotic in X-Plane now and in MSFS. But again, it was pretty repetitive. So they were. That's exactly the word that I was looking for. It's very repetitive. It actually repeats the same thing. And in ATC, it doesn't work that way. So yeah, I mean ATC to me, if you want to use ATC, the best thing to do is to buy a book or watch videos to learn the phraseology, and then go on one of the online networks such as IVAO, which I use, or VATSIM, Pilot Edge. I think POSCON. I think all of those are good online networks where you can have real-time humans speaking to you and giving you a clearance and for landing and takeoffs and things like that. It takes a little bit of learning, and probably the first few flights you'll feel intimidated. Some of the controllers are probably not very friendly either, so they make your experience a little more difficult. So they'll give you a hard time if you make something, you know, you say something wrong, or you but normally for the most part, it's a much better experience flying with online ATC than flying with. You can also look up the phraseology by referring to the ATC manual in the US, the 7110.65. Well, thanks for that again. XCPL pilot and place to start with pattern work. Yeah, absolutely, XCPL pilot. The best ATC experience will be always flying online. Default AC is just okay. I agree there. I do agree with you, John, as well, that it's probably more. It's much better for airliners. So anti-aliasing doesn't work for me properly. Edges are ugly. I have tried everything with my GPU, and also in-app settings already, including the NVIDIA control panel. It's just not working anymore. Nothing wrong with your GPU or your computer. That's something I think Laminar should fix. The issue is with the SIM, not with your PC. I do get that issue as well sometimes. So don't worry about that. It's not your PC. It's definitely Laminar. Right, let's take a look here quickly at the outside. Again, very nice. You know, the graphics are not bad at all. The graphic asset improvements in X-Plane 12 definitely visible after release candidate 3. I am kind of inclined, guys, to call it a day here, unless you want me to complete this ATC flight into LAX. If you want me to do that, I'll be more than glad to finish it. But it is kind of getting late here, and I think you get the idea. Unless you want me to continue, then, you know, just enjoying integral lights are avionics. Thanks. Sure. Classic breakup line. It's not you, it's me. Pull the pin, Sam. I think you can cut loose whenever you want, sir. Well, thank you very much, Carl. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it, because I am honestly starting to feel very tired. But nonetheless, I think we have seen what the, you know, what this can do, what the ATC does. So what I'm going to do, we're going to put the aircraft in a stationary area, which is going to be LAX, because again, for those who were doubting, you know, that they thought Innsbruck was a showcase airport and the rest of the airports are not good, let's go ahead and do just that and bring this aircraft. Actually, let me bring the tallest. Let's bring something big into Los Angeles. Let's see, what do we have? Cathay Pacific. Yeah, wow, livery's okay. All right, so let's go to LAX, and we can do the giveaway there. Los Angeles, and we'll put it at the gate. I think this is a heavy gate here. Terminal 4, position 43, confirm, start new flight, start new. All right, perfect. As long as the scenery is accurate enough to use VFR reference point, it's good enough. Well, it's. Let me tell you something. In X-Plane, in some places, it's just because I think we are very familiar with those. For example, LAX is an area that I'm very familiar with. Oh, we have the engines running. Let me change that real quick. Let's see, customize. No, we don't want the engine started. Apply changes. And now we're back into the cold and dark state. So I think some areas are better than others. Let's see here. Ooh, frames. All right. I think it's loaded now properly. Yeah. All right. So now it loaded everything properly. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The tallest A340 loaded up at Los Angeles International Airport. And just look at the airport. Again, very, very nice. This is, again, default X-Plane 12. Nothing, no scenery enhancements or anything like that. This is just all default. And I tell you, I do like it a lot. I think it looks very good. There we go. All right. There you have it. Beautiful aircraft by Tolis. All right, folks. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be running the giveaway now. And let's see who are the two lucky winners. Have they improved the default AI? Well, Alex, we were just taking a look at that. Overall, guys, here are my thoughts before we go on to the giveaway. X-Plane 12 is without a doubt, in my view, a next-gen simulator. It's a next-generation simulator without a doubt. It offers an aviation experience for those who are serious about flight simming. I think it will appeal to the consumer and the commercial market as well. So I think they will be very successful in their B2B business as well as their B2C model as well. I don't think that X-Plane is going to die anytime soon. With this team working at this pace, with all these improvements, I think the sim has just really limitless potential in becoming the world's best flight simulator. Of course, in terms of the scenery, in terms of the depiction of real world, I think nothing compares to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think it is the simulator when it comes to the depiction of real world. However, I think that X-Plane really excels in simulating what happens to an aircraft in real life. That is how the wind actually, what are the different factors that affect the aircraft, affect the airfoil itself. I think this is where their advantage is. While I think they are going to be more successful in the commercial side of things and for professional training, I still think that a lot of us in the flight simulation industry will remain very loyal to the platform and will remain probably for a few of us the choice for flight simulation. I think Laminar has done a wonderful job in this version, in release candidate 3. I think definitely a very promising. I'm very happy to see what they've done because now I'm only more excited about what's to come with the official release. They definitely are ironing out all the issues in the sim. The sim definitely looks great. The default fleet of excellent aircraft in Laminar Research definitely makes it worthwhile even investing in the sim with just the default aircraft. But of course, we all know there are excellent add-ons, very high fidelity add-ons for X-Plane 12, such as the TOLUS, Flight Factor, the Fly JSIM range of aircraft. And Joseph has just become a VVIP member here at the Q8 Pilot channel. Sir, thank you very much for your support, being part of the VVIP exclusive group here at the channel. I appreciate it. And yeah, without a doubt, X-Plane 12 is excellent in my view, and I think it's worth the investment if you are planning. So, by the way, there are many people who came to me throughout the past 4 months or 3 months when X-Plane was released as early access, and I asked them to hold and not to purchase it. TFK's Linux Gaming, 22 euros super chat. Thanks again, Q8. Well, thank you, sir, for your generosity and for your kindness. I really appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you guys. Thank you for your support. We have also Talal Al-Hajri. I just hate the fact that we have to rebuy all X-Plane 11 mods. Not true. You don't have to buy all of them. Most of them have been ported free of charge, and some others you'll have to pay an upgrade fee. But yeah, some of them you'll have to purchase. Obviously, the new ones you have to purchase them. But all in all, I think Laminar has done a brilliant job with this version of the sim. And for those...
Q8, thumbs up.
Lucas just became a VVIP member here at the Q8 Pilot channel. Welcome aboard, my friend, to this exclusive group. I thank you for your support, sir. Thank you very much. So, folks, a lot of you have come to me during the first few months of early access asking me for my advice whether they should purchase X-Plane 12 or not, and I told them not to purchase it until those issues are ironed out. But I can now safely tell you that if you liking what you see here during this live review of X-Plane 12, it is probably safe to go and purchase it now. So I know many of you were holding back until the sim was in a stable state. I think it's in a very stable state, as you have witnessed today. We have not had a single crash, and we've loaded and unloaded so many aircraft to so many airports. The sim is pretty solid. All right. And Benjamin George just came in with a $9.99 super sticker. Thank you very much, Benjamin. Appreciate it, my friend. Very, very kind of you. And I do like the thumbs up. I do like the thumbs up. Thumbs up to you, my friend. Thank you very much. All right, folks. Let's head over to the giveaway. And, of course, the giveaway, I hope that you guys are still here, whoever's entered the giveaway. And let me just see how many have entered into the giveaway. So let me just refresh this page real quick. Let's see here. All right, refresh. All right, looks like we have, oh, we have plenty. Oh, wow. All right, so we have a total of 118 entries today in the giveaway, and only 2 will be getting a copy of of X-Plane. Let me just very quickly check out. Let's take a look here. All right. All right, so... All right, so let's go ahead, guys, and check out who the first winner is in 3, 2, 1. First, let's pick a winner. And the first one is Mohammed Baba Mok is the first winner. Mohammed Baba Mok. If you are with us, please identify yourself. Mohammed Baba Mok has won a copy of X-Plane 12. Mohammed, if you are with us, please identify yourself. Otherwise, we'll have to forfeit your... He's not here. All right, Carl. We're just going to go and select someone else. Okay. Unfortunate for you, Mohammed. And all right, let's pick a winner in 3, 2, and 1. And the winner is Mark Pierce. Mark Pierce, if you were with us, please identify yourself. Mark Pierce. Is Mark Pierce with us? Speak up. Hey, Sander, welcome aboard, my friend. Lucas Gomez, welcome aboard. Mark Pierce, are you with us? I don't think that he's with us. So... he's logged in and taggable. Hope he's around the keyboard. It's Mark Pierce. Last chance. All right, Carl. I think no response. All right, Carl. Well, we'll just go ahead and select someone else. All right, let's go ahead and forfeit Mark Pierce, unfortunately. And 3, 2, 1, pick a winner. And the winner is Robert, is it Maisel? Robert Maisel. I hope I said your last name correctly, Robert. Robert! Hey, how's it going, Robert? Congratulations, my friend. Robert, congratulations. All you need to do, Robert, is you need to take a capture of your YouTube profile page while you're logged into your account and send that to info@q8pilot.com. I will verify your profile and then I will give you a serial number to lock your copy of X-Plane 12. All right, let's go ahead now and select the second. Unfortunately, I have already forfeited that entry, so I'm going to go ahead and select someone else. Sorry, guys, about that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and select a second winner now. Robert, congratulations. And we're going to go ahead and select the second winner now in 3, 2, 1. Pick a winner. And the winner is Fer Gomez. Fer Gomez. Are you with us, Fer Gomez? Fer Gomez, are you there? Fer Gomez is indeed there, and he is a member of the Q8 Pilot channel. Fer Gomez, congratulations on winning a free copy of X-Plane 12. All you need to do, sir, is you need to take a screenshot of your YouTube profile while you are logged into your account and send that in an email to info@q8pilot.com. I will then respond with a serial number to unlock your copy of X-Plane 12. Well, thank you very much, Mogo Mogo. It was definitely a very long stream, and I hope that I was able to show you everything that you wanted to see in X-Plane 12 in this review, and definitely a highly recommended flight sim platform. Remains to be one of the better flight simulation platforms in my view. And of course, again, be sure to hit that notification bell button so that you are notified of my latest guides, tutorials, and settings video for X-Plane 12. A lot more is coming on this great sim in the future, but it's time for me now to call it a day. And before I do, as always, folks, please do take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye for now.